was dreaming. They won it by 4 in the end.
American Anthem has taken off. American Anthem easily in the Woody Stevens.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Spa Babies, presented by WinStar Farm. I'm Dan Illman, along with Nicole Russo, and let's take a look at Sunday's Spa Baby event. It's race number 5, and Nicole, a really nice mixture of first-time starters, experienced runners, especially with our WinStar connections. They have first-time starter, the number 2, Twofer by Super Saver, and the experienced runner, the number 5, Smarty Smart by Congrats. Tough race.
Yeah, very much so. I think there's a lot of horses in here with some speed, a lot of horses who are debuting for barns where maybe they're not fully cranked first time out, a couple of horses who ran really well in their debuts here, a really interesting mix of types of horses depending on where you want to lean.
The number 1 is Murika, trained by Ron Moquette, and I'm a fan of this young stallion, Awesome Patriot. He's a first crop stallion. I think he's going to be a little bit under the radar. He doesn't have a big name as some of the others. Let's talk about him a little bit.
Well, you know, he's from a very good stallion-making family on both sides. He's from the family of stallions like Painter, Oxbow, other freshman sires this year who are getting a lot more attention. Awesome Patriot kind of under the radar because he didn't run in sort of those glamour races, but he was a stakes winner at 3, did win at 2, but, you know, later in the year. So I kind of think the success these horses have had early on is icing on the cake. He got off to a very good start with his first 2-year-olds. Was toward the top of the freshman sire standings early this spring and early summer with 4 winners. He's flattened out a little bit into summer, but, you know, I'm not really going to hold that against these horses. I do think they're going to come around more in this late summer, early fall type season.
This is a half-brother to Far Right, who did some good work as a 2-year-old, ended up being a grade 3 winner around 2 turns at 3, from the family of Big Jag, who earned almost $2 million and was a solid sprinter. That's the one, Murika, down towards the inside. The number 2 is Twofer by WinStar Stallion Super Saver. I like this pedigree. Stamina and class on top with Super Saver and a lot of speed on the bottom.
Yeah, very much so. Stakes winning Is It True Mare was a winning 2-year-old herself. She's produced stakes winning sprinter Ancient Rome and a stakes placed juvenile and Little Hitman. And, you know, going back to Super Saver, of course, we think of him as first as the Kentucky Derby winner, but he was a grade 2 winning juvenile himself, and he certainly sired good juveniles. His first crop had graded winners Competitive Edge and I Spent It. And then, of course, his best runner to date is the champion sprinter Run Happy. So he can certainly inject some speed as well.
Twofer sold up to $290,000 earlier this year after breezing a quarter mile in 21 and change, and he goes out for a premier 2-year-old first-time starter trainer. We have a formulator fact for Rick Violet. Over the past 5 years, 2-year-old debut runners in Saratoga maiden special weight dirt sprints, he's 5 for 10 against the Chads and Pletchers of the world with a $4.51 return on investment. We expect Twofer to run very well first time out. I wouldn't throw him out at all.
No, not at all. I think, you know, like we just said, I think this is a pedigree showing some speed, some juvenile ability on both sides. Good barn, very interesting horse.
Be great to see Mary Lou Whitney get a win on Travers weekend. She is represented by the number 3, Quick, who ran well first time out, taking on a Violet first-time starter named Honey Graham, a late run to finish second. This is a full brother to Viva Mallorca, who is a late-running sprinter in his own right. And I really like this angle for Ian Wilkes, second-time starter, Lasix on.
Yeah, solid second on that debut after kind of an awkward break, lunged, brushed the gate. Will probably improve second time out. That's usually what we see from Ian Wilkes. They get better with experience. They're not necessarily cranked first time out. And you know that these Whitney families really develop well over time.
Number 4 is No Deal. And let's talk about his stallion. I think a lot of folks might not be familiar with Special Rate.
Well, I certainly had to take a look for this stallion. Special Rate stands in Oklahoma. He's by Pulpit, who of course has good sons out there like Tapete, Lucky Pulpit. And he's a half to the wonderful mare Sightseek, multiple grade 1 winner who knocked heads with the likes of Zeri and Stormflag Flying throughout her career. Special Rate's only got a couple of stakes winners to date, but you know, they've got some speed. And this one out of a stakes-placed Harlan's Holiday mare, a New York bred for Chester and Mary Broman, leading owners and breeders in New York. They'd love to get a good 2-year-old winner at Saratoga.
The number 5 is Smarty Smart by WinStar Stallion. Congrats. Congrats does well with 2-year-olds and does well with fillies.
Yeah, very much so. Congrats from the AP Indy line. You think of them as, sort of stamina sources, but he's definitely been a very good sprint sire and a very good filly sire. He's had grade 1 winning fillies, Turbulent Descent and Wickedly Perfect out there, winning major races in their juvenile seasons, and then grade 1 winning older sprinters, Emma's Encore, Have You Gone Away. Turbulent Descent also went on to join that group. Just a really class line.
Nice mixture of dirt and turf in this family. The dam one sprinting on the main track, second dam a stakes-winning dirt router, but also the family of Op Smile, a long-winded turf horse, and the dam's a half to Unbridled Humor, a turf horse as well. So lots of options down the road for these connections. And I thought Smarty Smart ran quite well first time out, making an early mid-move in a race where the pace eventually collapsed, with the exception of that sharp Violet train winner. I wouldn't be surprised if she improved second time out. The 6 is Tapete Claire. Tapete Claire was 63-1 in the career debut. Did not do much running. I'm expecting a similarly long price here.
Yeah, very much so. She ran 7th on debut, just kind of flat out there. Second crop of Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile winner, Tapizar.
Navajo is the number 7, one of 2 fillies in the race by Union Rags. And we think of Union Rags, of course, as a winner of the Belmont Stakes and long distance ability. He was a very good 2-year-old as well. He can get a precocious runner.
Yeah, certainly. As we mentioned, good 2-year-old himself, bias sire Dixie Union, who did well with his 2-year-olds and has produced stallions who have done well with their 2-year-olds. He had the grade 1 winning fillies Dancing Rags and Union Strike in his first group of runners last summer and fall. Expecting good things from these 2-year-olds as well. This is the first foal out of a mare who was a stakes winner at Monmouth.
Bullet workout leading up to this race for trainer Tony Dutrow. I'd advise to watch the board. Wine Halo, a second-time starter for trainer Wayne Lucas. This is a Calumet Farm homebred by their stallion Snappy Halo. Let's talk about Snappy Halo.
Yeah, Snappy Halo they imported from Argentina. Calumet has really made moves to import sort of international type long-winded horses on their stallion roster. I think it's a really interesting roster for the breeding of race horses. That being said, Snappy Halo is off to a slow start with his runners. Looking at his pedigree, he's a son of Southern Halo, whose good sons out there include More Than Ready, prominent juvenile sire, prominent turf sire. I'm expecting these horses to do a little bit better on grass. Very good female family under this particular horse, though, Dan.
Certainly, the dam a half to Nona Mella, graded stakes winner as a 2-year-old from the family of Bluegrass Cat and Girolamo. And this horse did get a very important experience last time out on August the 6th at Saratoga and can improve second time out. Moolah Schmoolah is the number 9, a $155,000 yearling by Union Rags. The third dam's a half to the Great Weekend Surprise. I look at this pedigree, and Rudy Rodriguez can certainly pop with a first-time starter. I can't wait to see this one stretch out.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, right up toward the top of the pedigree there, the second dam Unbridled Lassie, really long-winded type. Her stakes placings included a 3rd in the Coaching Club American Oaks. Going further back, a ton of class, stamina, classic ability back there. Union Rags can certainly get a horse that develops into a long-distance type after being a good 2-year-old. His first crop also includes Patch, who is 3rd in the Belmont Stakes this year. Moolah Schmoolah, I'm really sort of not sure what to make of this one. Worked on turf last out. I think this might be a horse that they're still kind of figuring out.
The word was out for the number 10, Everybody Loves Me. When she debuted earlier this meet, she was bet down to 6-5 in a 7-horse field. She showed big speed from the inside, and she had the misfortune to catch a very impressive Rodriguez-trained runner in Lady Ivanka, who went off to win by about 8 lengths. This time the blinkers come off. Do you think they're going to try to ration this filly's speed? I mean, she worked a 9 and change at the sale, showed big speed from the inside in the debut.
I think very much so. I think, maybe rationing that kind of natural speed that she really seems to have, especially breaking from this outside post, maybe sit just off some of that other speed and kind of save that punch for the end there. That might be their strategy. As you mentioned, second on debut to a very impressive filly, Arad Ortiz getting aboard, and a lot of speed, a lot of class in this family. Of course, McLean's Music, speedy young classic sire, out of a mare by Emerging emerging young broodmare sire Forestry. The mare's a winner at 2. She's a half to Conquest Mo Money. It's the family of a Canadian champion in Serenading and a Canadian juvenile stakes winner in Hand Painted. I really like this one moving forward.
We kick off the Pick 6 with Sunday's Spa Baby Race presented by WinStar Farm. It's race number 5. Who do you like?
You know what? I'm really looking at the horses with experience here. I wish I felt a little bit more creative about it, but I do think that Everybody Loves Me faced a really nice filly last out and should move forward, should get an ideal sort of trip here. I'm also expecting Quick to improve off the debut. And I think that looking at exotics, Wine Halo might come running for a little piece of it there. 7th on debut and has come back with 2 strong works since.
I'm with you. I want the experienced horses in this race. The 3 I'm leaning on are Quick. Really think she will improve second time out with the addition of Lasix. Everybody Loves Me, who showed that big speed in her debut. And Smarty Smart might be the price play. I thought she moved just a little bit early in her career debut earlier this meet. Nicole and I will be back early next week with Closing Week Spa Babies presented by WinStar Farm.